Don't give your children a reason to think we are suffering because our father left. Never ever give your children an opportunity to regret why their father left. And never ever give them any reason to regret. But most importantly, trust and believe in God. Hope you're doing well. My name is Sharon, aka Baraka, and you are welcome to this channel. It's a lovely day today, beautiful day. I was outside, but I've come back inside because it's too noisy outside. So I have decided to come back inside and do yet another vlog for you so that I can give you more and more information. If you are a returning subscriber, you are very welcome. You guys are the reason that I keep coming and coming back with more and more information. If this is your first time, please do not forget to subscribe. Welcome to the family and continue to enjoy with the rest of the family. You are very welcome. Now, guys, I want to talk about a question that somebody asked me. You know, a lot of you send me DM messages, and there's this one particular question that I saw in my DM. It's not related to the topic that I normally talk about, jobs in the UK, but it is relevant because it is an experience that I have gone through, and I thought, that's an interesting question. I am going to answer it, and I'm going to come on here and answer that question for whoever asked that question, because if that one person is asking about it, there may be so many out there that are also wondering the same thing and would like to know the answer to this question. But before I do that, before I come to my question, please do not forget to subscribe. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, or not 5 is a lot. I'm only going to give you 1 minute. Subscribe and then let's carry on. So if you want to know this information that I'm about to share, please stay there until the very end of this blog and don't go anywhere, because it is something that could be important to you. It is an answer that maybe you've also been asking and looking for answers yourself, and I'm here to help you. You know, they say experience is the best teacher. And I personally have gone through a lot of experiences in life, and I sit in my rightful place, in my rightful position to answer some of these questions when people ask me, because it is something that I have gone through, I have overcome it, and therefore I can stand here firmly and give somebody else an encouragement, or give someone else the affirmation to let them know that you too can be able to go over it, you too can be able to overcome it, and you too can be able to get into your God-chosen destiny. So what was this question that somebody asked? Very simple question, but it has a lot of weight. First of all, I'm going to answer this question going back to the Word of God, because I'm a believer, I'm a firm believer. For those of you who know me, you will know that I'm a firm believer. And one thing I would like to tell you is, never put your hope or your trust on man. Always put your hope and your trust in God. If you put everything in God, He will make sure that you're provided for. He will make sure that the finances you need are provided for. He will make sure that the needs for your children are provided for and they are met. But if you put your hope on a man, on a spouse that has left, and that is the time that you start to become hopeless and you see as if everything has been lost. For me, when I got divorced, I did what I knew best. I ran to God and I told God, you are Jehovah Jireh, you are my provider. Whatever that my ex-partner was providing, you now know he's not there. God, please provide. And I'm telling you guys, God has provided. We have never lacked. We have never slept hungry. The bills have always been paid for. The mortgage has always been paid for. And I'm telling you, God himself has made those provisions. If I were to stand here and say that it has been the provision of my ex, I would be telling lies, because it's not. Every provision has been provided by God. Sometimes I don't even know how that money comes. You know, there are times I could just be sitting over there and the money just comes into my account. Let me use this as a testimony. You know, there's a time that I was just going on with my business, not worrying about what is happening, you know. And for those of you who know me, I support a charity, Baraka Children's Home, that is in Kenya. And there are times God will give me finances, extra finances, to make sure that I'm able to support charities like that and other charities that I support. Not just that one. There are other charities that I support. And God makes sure that after I have paid everything, I still have enough. I still have enough to be able to afford holiday for myself and for my children. If it was not for God being Jehovah Jireh and providing for me, I really don't know where all this money would come. So that is how I survive. I survive purely on trusting and believing in God, because he provides. Even when, like that time, I wasn't expecting. It wasn't money that I had planned, but it still came. It was money that belonged to me, that was owed to me by the government, and it still came. So those are some of the ways that God can miraculously provide money for you that you are not expecting. And even when you're in your lowest, God provides that money. The other thing is surviving as a single mother. For me, I don't even know if that is an issue at all. So when I was growing up, I grew up as a lone child. And so for me, being in an environment where I am alone, to me, is a natural thing. It is something that I was brought up with. So I don't know any other different. And so the only thing that is addition is the children, which are blessing. And you know, every child that comes with their own blessing. My children have never been trouble, and I thank God for that. They have been really, really well behaved. They have been good, and I thank God because of giving me such blessed and well behaved children, very resilient. I know they got affected. Obviously, every child gets affected when there is a separation or a divorce. But God gave them that grace to be able to accept things as they were. And they never gave me any trouble. Those who know me closely will know my children are no trouble. There are obviously people who are very, very close to me. They have come, they have seen my children. Even after the divorce, they saw my children, how they behaved, how they were. And they can attest to that. There are friends who obviously after the divorce, they decided they didn't want to associate with me and they left, and that is okay. You know, there are times when God is taking you to another level. There are people who cannot go with you. It's not everybody that will go with you to the next level where God is taking you. So, you know, actually, I don't even carry those that left. I don't take them personally, the ones that decided to leave. I still love them, and I would still talk to them if I saw them. But they were there for that time of my journey when I was a married person. And after my divorce, they could not carry on going in the same journey with me. Why? Because where God is taking me, they cannot come with me. It is too high and they cannot come with me. But those who are meant to stay, those who God wanted them to be there for the next phase of my life, they remained. And they're still my very good friends up to today. God, in his own grace, graced me differently to be able to take on the next phase of life in a different way, in a different manner. I spoke about it one time and I said, the most important thing you can do when you find yourself in a situation like this, don't beat yourself, accept it, because the minute you accept it, you bring yourself healing. But if you're fighting and you're going against every natural thing, that is when people sink into depression. And I did not want to sink into a depression. I was the only parent that had remained that my children could look up to when their father left and didn't want anything to do with them. And if I had taken the mistake of sinking into a depression, it meant I would have lost my job and possibly lost my home and also lost my children. And I was not prepared for that. So there are times that you will have to fight. You know, one tip I'm going to give you, when the enemy comes fighting you, just because the enemy is pointing a gun at you, it does not mean that is that the time you have to surrender. You keep fighting until you win. Keep fighting until you win. That is the tip that I'm going to give most of you. Keep fighting until you win. And the other thing is the finances. So again, what I did, this is what I did personally through experience. Apart from relying on God, I also had to think about other incomes, you know, having streams of other incomes that would supplement what was coming from my ex-husband and be able still to carry on comfortably without struggling financially. So you have to be a very quick thinker, and you have to act very, very quickly in thinking, how are you going to manage your finances moving forward? There are things that I cut off when immediately after the separation. There are things that I felt these, yes, we wanted to have them, but they're actually not a need. So I cut off some of those bills immediately, so that we are not sinking financially into a financial crisis. And as time went by, as I rebuilt myself financially, I have found myself, I'm putting those things back now, and life is moving on as it was normally. In fact, I think I even enjoy more. We are able to enjoy more holidays. We are able to enjoy more free and more quality time as a family. And my children are happy. And the most important thing you can give to your children as a single mother is happiness, is the best. Don't give your children a reason to think we are suffering because our father left. Never ever give your children an opportunity to regret why their father left. And especially if their father is not supportive. Never ever give them any reason to regret. But most importantly, trust and believe in God, because He is the provider. He will see you through. You know, my pastor keeps telling me, when God shows up, show off to the glory of God. So I hope I have answered your question. And until the next time, guys, for now, Baraka.